Hi, 620 folks. Welcome to our next week of class. So this previous week, of course, was really just allowing you to get an introduction to the motivational framework. As you are well aware from the discussion, it really wasn't a barn building situation or kind of really working together, but it was meant as a way for you to think about the 4 items on that motivational framework. And then to think about, okay, what does that mean to me? How can I put into my own words what inclusion, competence, all of those things sort of mean? So that was laying the groundwork for this week. So there's 2 things that we're working on this week. First off, we have a very applied discussion, and that is where you are going to read the 4 chapters that talk about specific strategies for those 4 areas of the motivational framework. As I had mentioned last week, please don't view those chapters as something you need to read and understand every single strategy. It's more like a resource for you, right? So go through, skim some of the strategies, really read the ones that you're like, oh, that's interesting to me for some reason. This is meant to be something that, you would hold on to this text. And when you realize that you need to work on some aspect of motivation in your facilitation, you would then go back to that book and look for some strategies. The applied piece of this, of course, in our discussion is you are going to choose 4 strategies, one for each of the 4 competencies, and just talk about how or why you might use it. So just encourage you to get a little bit deeper into applying a few of these possible strategies. Now, the second discussion is going to go for this week is going to go back to what we're more or less used to doing in this class. And this is a pretty meta discussion. So what I'm asking you to do is to take this motivational framework, but then think and reflect on and discuss how that helps you understand and synthesize things that we've been doing the entire semester. How does this play into things about understanding who you are as an educator, who your learners are? How does this play into the whole process of creating objectives and matching things to ways of learning? So like I said, this is really meant to be a meta discussion. It's meant to kind of allow you to weave together or tie together all of these various topics that we have been talking about now for the past several months. It's purposely kind of a broad discussion. I don't give you a single prompt, but it's really meant to encourage and allow you to bring these ideas together and to try to make your own personal meaning of what we've been doing so far this semester. This might be a great time for you to start to look back to some of the reflecting that you've been working on during each week. Maybe this is where you can start to begin to see ideas or themes that are coming together. You can start to play with those. You don't have to have an amazing idea. Start to play with those in the discussion, pose some things, start to work with the class to kind of get movement towards some of those big ideas. So is it purposely ill-defined, this discussion? Yes, it is. But it's meant to be purposely ill-defined and a little messy to allow you to do the work that you're going to need to be able to come up with some more kind of useful, concrete ideas as we get towards the end of the semester. So we're going to work hard on that one, and I think it's going to be a good thing. Definitely integrate or work with your classmates on that discussion. The other thing I want to remind you of is the accessibility requirement. So if you recall earlier in the semester, we talked about making items accessible, documents, videos, presentations, things like that. So you can take any assignment in class and create all of it or part of it to be accessible. So just a quick reminder that that's something you need to do. There's not a specific assignment you do this on. You just need to let me know, hey, I did this and that's my accessibility requirement. So for example, all of you are working on your team facilitations. Maybe you are creating a video that you want to close caption. Maybe you're putting together a document that you want to make sure is accessible, whatever it may be. Just remember that you need to tell me what you created to be accessible so I can give you that, the credit for that. Okay, I'm excited. It's going to be a little bit of work this week, but this is really where we start to get to see everything coming together for the semester. So it's going to be pretty exciting. And then next week, we get to start our first of 3 weeks of the team facilitations. After that, we're kind of on the home stretch. We're just tying up some loose ends as we get to the end of this semester. So You're all doing an amazing job still. As always, let me know what you need from me.